Any scatters today? Hello, hello. Ah, there they are. Wonderful. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday stream. Gonna be a fun one because we're in for a longer stream than usual. I think. I'm not sure exactly how long it's gonna be yet, but we've got things to do. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're looking forward to the stream today. That's a lot of scatters. Almost the entire screen is filled with scatters. Wonderful. I wonder if you're ever going to be able to do the full screen ever. I feel like you can't do that, but we'll see. A Cannon, thank you for the 2 months right at the beginning of the stream. Appreciate your support. X Cross Caliber, thank you for the first time Prime as well. Welcome to the stream. Today ban list. I don't know, man. I don't know. I personally don't think we're getting one. And if if they're doing it just to prove me wrong, then I will very happily take that. But I have given up on a ban list before Euros. I will be honest with you. I think it's just gonna be Smith full power Snake Eye situation happening at Euros. But if you still believe, then good for you. Reverse psychology, yeah, it's like that. I'm not that big into sports or something, but like if you put like money on the opposing team just so that if your team loses, you're like happy anyways. So in this case, I will simply bet on no ban list, and if I'm proven wrong, then I'm happy anyways. So easy clap. Yeah, we've got things to talk about. We got a new product announced. We've got new cards from Rage of the Abyss. We've got Master Duel ranked. Obviously, we still need to make Master 1. And we've got a podcast later today. With this, that's the reason why I think the stream might be longer, because we're starting to podcast on we're starting the podcast at 4 p.m., which is, and I think it's going to be longer than an hour. So I think you're going to be in for a longer stream than usual. Any special guests today? No, just Farfa and I. But because we're going to do the second part of that history retro format thingy that we did, I think, a couple weeks ago. We still need to do the second part of that, so we're going to get that out of the way today. Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's do the warm up and then hop into some of those news to talk about. Are you staying later to watch reveals? What time are the reveals? Because I think they are always 5 p.m., right? So if we do the podcast, I think they should be out by the time that we're done. So we can watch them after the podcast. Like 5 p.m. should be, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll watch the reveals. Is there a schedule? Do we know what they are announcing today, or is it just like we're gonna have to wait and see situation? Because I remember there used to be a schedule where they would say like, oh, okay, Tuesday is that archetype, Wednesday is that archetype, Thursday is the free agents, and Friday is pack openings, right? Because if it's like Fiendsmith or something today, then that's not really that interesting, right? Because we already know the main Fiendsmith monster is a secret rare, so what are they gonna announce, really? But anyways, I'll be here, we'll see it. Info pack opening is this Friday? It should be, right? The pack opening is always Friday. The pack, they definitely announced the pack opening. I remember that in the video yesterday. Indeed, in the trailer for Infinite Forbidden, they said pack openings. No, it's Monday. Oh, Monday? Really? Has it ever been Monday? It's soon. I don't know the exact day, but it is either the end of this week or the start of next week when we get yeah. Influencer reveals. Okay, thank you for that link. Let me just double check real quick. We've got day 1 Millennium, day 2 White Forest. Oh, tomorrow is White Forest. I'm actually excited for that. I'm actually excited to see the White Forest rarities, because correct me if I'm wrong, at least I don't know any of those rarities yet. I am not familiar with any of the rarities. I'm not sure if they have announced anything, but I don't think, yeah, we don't know. Okay. Yeah, that one's going to be interesting. Millennium today is also somewhat interesting. I think that engine is like borderline solid in some other decks. So those could be relevant. Day 3 Fiendsmith is going to be somewhat of a sleeper because we already know that it's going to be expensive, but it is what it is. And then we got box openings day 4. So day 4 in my universe, that would be Friday, because today is day 1, right? Yesterday was the trailer. Today is day 1 of the reveals. So Friday should be day 4. So no Monday. It's definitely this Friday. Like I said. Okay, so we've got all these channels opening those. Okay. Yeah, so we got Millennium today, White Forest tomorrow, Fiendsmith on Thursday, and box openings on Friday, where we will also see all of the imports and TCG exclusive cards. Probably the most exciting day, as always, is going to be the Friday. So that is that. All right, cool. Good talk. Let's we still need to do the warm up. How does the Millennium engine work? See, the thing is, I am not entirely sure. But I saw people play them in other decks. Like, for example, I was scrolling Twitter yesterday and I saw 2019 world champion Kuki Kosaka post this list, which is using just a couple of Millennium cards. I haven't looked into it too much yet. This is very much just an observation. I haven't in detail looked into it, but this looks like they are a possible engine to be played in Snake. So apparently you can play Snake Eye, Fiendsmith, and Millennium card in the same deck. Whatever. So I've heard of it. I haven't looked into it though, so I couldn't tell you if I think this is better than just not playing the cards or playing more non-engine. I don't know, because I would need to look into those cards. We will do that though. We will look at what these cards exactly accomplish soon. Probably during this week or start of next week, before Infinite Forbidden drops, for sure. We'll take a look at all of these engines, even though I am aware that I am procrastinating because Fiendsmith is kind of ruining the fun for me for Infinite Forbidden. I don't know. I can't be the only one like that, right? I can't be the only one who's technically excited for stuff like White Forest and other stuff in the set, but then the Fiendsmith looming is kind of like making me, you know, not so motivated to try my hands on like Whitewoods or even the Millennium cards or whatever, because I'm like, what's the point if Fiendsmith is going to be that powerful? But yeah, we've talked about that plenty in the last couple days. I don't want to sound all too negative, because even Fiendsmith format is gonna be over at some point, and we're gonna get back to better times for sure. All right. Can you play Vanquish Soul in Ranked Master Duel? Maybe. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna play today. I want to play a little bit of everything probably. I was thinking about also trying a deck that I've been saying I want to try, but I haven't tried it at all in Master Duel yet, which is Paleo Tier. Maybe that's a little bit more competitive than just Paleo, because I did realize I want to climb, but I also want to like play stuff that I like. So we'll see. But we could play a game of Vanquish Soul later. I don't mind. But first, we need to do the card guessing portion. Lamabek, thank you for the 9 months, and Kaifu, thank you for the 18 months. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's begin. This is, I think, Tetherwolf. Yeah. All right, good start. I've seen this. I know this. Well, I don't know the name. Red Cocoon. Yeah, that sounds right. Yep. Okay, what archetype is that? Ice Barrier? No. Is that Enchantress? Testament? Oh, it's Crusadia. Okay. Millenniums are more copies of engravers. Oh, great. We need that. Prank kits dropsies. Yes. What is that? I don't know. Morgan. All right. Never seen that. It's the little tuner guy. Little fighter. Looking like armed dragon stuff. Armed dragon and XYZ together? Armed dragon catapult? Yeah. Okay, we got Cyber Petite Angel on here, but I don't know what the card is. It's not Dakini. It's like a Cyber Angel spell, but I have no idea what it's called. Magnificent Machine Angel. Okay, no shot. You can't tell what this is yet. Oh, the dino. What is this guy called? Oh my god. Trachodon? Tracodon? That one. Yeah. Oh, that is a Drytron Alpha? No. Wait, Majestic Star Dragon? No. Shooting Majestic? I really thought it was Drytron Alpha. Okay, that was bad. This is, I think, a Lavalval. But I'm very bad with Lavalval names. Laval Burner. Wait. Yeah, okay, give me more of him. I'm an expert at guessing the fighter. Is that Kiron? Leon Dubstep, thank you for the 10 months. Okay, that's the Abyss actor thingy. Oh, that's Madonna again. We had that yesterday. Ishki. Yeah. Diviner? Ishki Diviner, okay. Tour guide. No. Tour bus. Yeah. Water dragon cluster? Or just water dragon? Yeah. That's looking like Albaz lore. What is that? Befallen? Branded Befallen. Okay. How do you know that? World Legacy skip. I'm skipping. I'm not gonna wait until someone knows. I don't know. Is this Sorrow? Nope. Second booster. All right. Okay, it'd be a good idea to guess a card again, I feel like. Okay, that's Inferno de Mirage. Why are there so many Mirages? This feels familiar, but I'm not sure what it is. Argenx Ultimum. Okay, I've definitely seen that at some point in my life. Area the Water Charmer. I think that's the original one. Yeah, the flip monster. Infinite cards. Oh, that's a Destiny hero. Something Cyclone. Wild Cyclone? No. Cyclone Blade? Yeah. Oh, it's a spell card. Okay. Trap Eater. Something platform. Yep. I Keymore, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. Oh, this looks familiar. What is this? Is that the Royd thingy? No, it's Duel Tower. You're right. Yeah. Okay. That's a Megalith. Megalith Agith. Okay. It's not Union Driver, is it? No. Turbocharger? What is a turbocharger? Nope. Apparently not that card. Whip Crosser. Okay. Gishki Abyss. Gishki Abyss. Dralago. Okay, more of those. More easy ones, please. Oh, it's not an easy one. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. What is that? Don't know. Is that Evil Eye? Oh, that looks like Evil Eye. Okay, good thing I didn't try to find the Evil Eye because it was a nouvelle. This is very old. It's like no, it's not that. Is it Antlion? Is it that? No. Alien section. Okay, I was never gonna guess that. I'm mad that I didn't just skip it. Spirit Barrier. Astral Barrier. One of those two. Yeah, okay. 50-50 lost. Six Samurai. Nisashi, I think. No? Wait, what is that? Rihan? Oh, it's a legendary. It's a secret Six Samurai. Okay, my bad. I was thinking of the OG green one. No idea what that is, I think. No, I don't know what that is. Never seen that before in my life. Is that Shadow Mist? I think that's Shadow Mist. Pseudo Space. That is when Familiar Possessed? No. Ran Ryu? Oh, I'm pretty sure that's a win card. Or maybe not. Yep, there's no win in this. Well, there's a win over there. Razenryu. Okay, that was bad. I know this card. I know this card. It's not After the Storm. It's is it Wild Tornado? It could be Wild Tornado. No. Localized Tornado? No? Oh, it's Hate Runade. I was thinking of a different card that also has the house on it. Reptilian, no idea. Kotal. Galaxy Eyes Photon Drag. Yeah. 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 Lancer Dragon. Oh, that's X Blower. Blower. Yeah. Good thing I lost to that card yesterday. Something with the Nominaga, but attack pheromones. Okay. No idea. Perform a Pal Lady Age. Yeah. These old vanillas, man, it always takes me a while to figure out what their name was, if I can even remember it. Is that a Witchcrafter spell? Vice Street? Oh, that is Witchcrafter. Why did I know that? Oh, that's the Earth Fairy guy. Carbon. World Soul Carbon. Yeah. Fluffle. Fluffle. Rapid. Yep. Vampire Sorcerer. That call? No. Coffin Seller. Oh god. I know exactly what it looks like. Is it? It's something healer. Numinous healer. Yeah. Not quite 900, but not a bad round. Unironically, not a bad round. Okay. I thought it was gonna be. I think we were on better pace. The last third, the last 5 minutes weren't great, but it was okay. Not washed. Not washed at all. Come on, 886. That's all right. We're simply not gonna talk about the fact that we were on pace for 1,000 points, like 10 minutes in. And then we're Gucci. Definitely above average. I'm not that insane at guessing aside from Kurama, I guess. Nah, you're insane. How do you put a compliment and an insult into like 7 words? Washed, also very happy to be here. All right, cool. Mind Gaming, thank you for the 8 months. Appreciate you. That was impressive. Okay. We're looking for... okay, Angmal, the year doesn't match. We're looking for a high-level Dark Monster. I mean, Dark Armed Dragon, right? Let's do Dark Armed Dragon. Early? No. Okay, level 5 or 6 Dark Monster with less than 1,000 defense, so it's not Caius, guys. It's not Caius. Level 5 or 6, less than 1,000 defense. Dark Magician Girl. I'm pretty sure Dark Magician Girl has more than 1,000 defense. Yeah, 1,700 defense. Malicious, guys. It's not a warrior and it's more than 1,500 attack. All the info is on the screen. All the info is on the screen. Level 5 or 6, not warrior, not dragon. It is dark. It is an effect monster. Less than 2,800 attack, more than 1,500 attack, less than 1,000 defense. The year is 2009 to 2014. Maybe a Steel Swarm. Yeah, the good thing is there's only 2 million Steel Swarms. It was not Steel Swarm Moth, but it is 0 defense, and it's a level 5. Is there a level 5 Steel Swarm? It's also not a Fiend. Aren't all this? They are all Fiends. Okay, that is not good. Evil Swarm, maybe? Well, they don't have 0 defense, though. That's the problem. Oh, except for Exciton Knight. A Blackwing? I mean, Shiroko is not 0 defense. No, Shiroko is not 0 defense. It's 2009 or 2010. A level 5 dark with 0 defense. There are other Blackwings? Yeah, but no level 5 Blackwing from that time. Some zombie? What zombie would it be, level 5? Ill Blood is like 2007. Yeah. Nick Boy, thank you for the 5 months. I'll answer your question in a second. That takes longer than just a little bit. I'll talk about it though. Appreciate you. Shadow Vampire? What the hell is Shadow Vampire? 2013. No, that's way too new. Mist Archfiend? That is a good guess, but it's the year does not match. It's 2009 or 10. The Tricky is a wind monster, guys. The Tricky is a wind monster. Sphere of Chaos. Sphere of Chaos. Sphere of Chaos. Okay, good guess. Nice. I actually do remember this card because it's somewhat relevant in some Edison decks. Okay, I should have known that. That was a cool one, actually. I'm kind of mad I didn't remember that. I did not think that had 0 defense for some reason. For some reason, I thought it had some defense points. All right. That's not a real card. Oh, that is a real card. People played that. Like, not often, but like Sphere of Chaos is okay. If you played at the time, you've probably seen it. Anyways. All right, before we move into the first topic of the day, let me answer that question that we just got. What do you think about a full board breaker approach since many decks will be highly resistant to hand traps? See, we talked about this briefly yesterday, and this is both. It's somewhat copium and somewhat also like in weird ways, I am both optimistic and pessimistic about this topic, right? Because I said yesterday, well, if Fiendsmith Snake Eyes is basically non-hand trappable, right? Doesn't that mean that we're gonna go into a board breaker format? Which, in theory, a board breaker format, in my opinion, this is very much my opinion, and you don't need to agree. But in my opinion, a Snake Eye board breaker format would be more fun than a Snake Eye hand trap format. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but I personally think it still wouldn't necessarily be a good format, maybe. But I always enjoyed board breaker Snake Eye variants more than hand trap Snake Eye variants, right? So in theory, the fact that with Fiendsmith cards, the Snake Eye deck gets very much unhand trappable, right? Could be a good thing if people start playing board breakers. You know what the problem is? The problem is that the Fiendsmith cards also make it really, really hard to board break the Snake Eye deck, right? And do you know what the result of this is? The result is a deck that is pretty much, it's very hard to hand trap, not impossible, but like really hard to hand trap Fiendsmith Snake Eye. And it's also really hard to board break Fiendsmith Snake Eye. Do you know what the result of that is? It's a bad format, because that's basically, this dynamic is not new to Yu-Gi-Oh! This dynamic is basically what decks like Goki have created in the past, or Spiral. Though the tier 0 formats that were regarded to as not very good, right? Simply because like the player going first, their deck was just so strong, right? Because Goki was a deck that you could, sometimes you would throw hand traps at it, sometimes it would work. At least Goki was really weak to certain hand traps like Droll and Lockbird. But historically, combo decks that are resilient to hand traps and board breakers because they hand loop or set up other forms of omni negates or whatever, are pretty bad formats. And I think that is unfortunately the most likely outcome for Snake Eye Fiendsmith, right? So the deck is good against hand traps. The deck is also really good against board breakers. So just to clarify, maybe you're asking, why is the deck good against board breakers? From my first impression, without having played too much in the upcoming format yet, because I'm currently more, I have more fun playing Master Duel than preparing for Euros, so it's what I'm doing more. But the deck now has Omni Negates again with the Fiendsmith engine, right? The Fiendsmith fusion monster, the big fusion monster, is an Omni Negate. In some ways, it's not really an Omni Negate. In other ways, it's even better than an Omni Negate because it's kind of got that hot red Dragon Abyss effect, right? Where you can target a face-up card on the field and negate it, even up to 2, right? Because of the if it has, I think it's if the link 2 is equipped to it, you get to target 2 cards and negate them, right? And so you can negate even something like Dark Ruler No More is something that Fiendsmith Snake Eye can negate, right? Because all they need to do is chain a spell or trap effect to it, and then they can chain the Fiendsmith Omni Negate or the Fiendsmith level 9 fusion, DS Ray, I don't know how to pronounce it. They can chain it to their own spell or trap, and then select the Dark Ruler and negate it. So in some ways, it can even be better than an Omni Negate, because you can't do that with Baron, for example. You can't negate Dark Ruler with Baron ever. So in some ways, that card is even better than Baron, which is a card that was negated obviously a couple months ago, and for good reason. So the situation is honestly looking pretty grim in terms of mirror matches with Fiendsmith Snake Eye. It feels in a lot of ways, it feels very similar to something like playing a Gookie mirror. I said Gookie again, sorry, Goki. Where the player going first is just so much more likely to win, right? Because the Goki board was also unbreakable because they would hand loop you with like Gumblar or Extra Link and all that kind of stuff. Ibli. Like that was not really feasible in terms of hand traps in 2018 against Goki. It also wasn't super likely that you were able to stop it because there was like three what's it called? Called by the Grave in the format and all that. And then even if you get to resolve a board breaker against the deck, there still is like Promethean Princess in the graveyard, potential IP Masquerena in the spell and trap zone. So it's looking like a tier 0 format. And here's my problem with that. Not every tier 0 format is bad, but this upcoming one has all the signs of a bad tier 0 format, right? It has all the signs of a not very interactive mirror match because the player going first is just so much more likely to win. Right? Because the deck is just, to me, it feels like the kind of deck that is just unstoppable. If there is even like, and I think this is why people are, more like inclined to look at cards like Droll and Lockbird again, because historically, if a deck just has too many extenders, these one-on-one hand traps are just not that great. Like, for example, like cards like Imperm, Veiler, Ash Blossom, and stuff, they don't seem great to me in theory against that deck, because very simply, there's too many possible cards that your opponent can have that make those cards completely irrelevant, right? Like, if I'm even thinking of, like, let's say your opponent normal summons Snake Eye Ash and you imperm it, like that already at the moment already feels risky, because you know there's like 3 Wanted, 3 Diabell Star, 3 Bonfire that they can have to extend, maybe even a 1-for-1, or they can just have cross out to negate your infinite impermanence, right? So like in theory, you know when you activate that impermanence, there's currently like 12 cards that punish it, maybe 13 if they play 1-for-1. Post Infinite Forbidden, that number goes up to like 16, 17, depending on how many crossouts they play, how many, what exactly the Fiendsmith engine's gonna look like, right? So, not a great situation to be throwing hand traps at your opponent if they have this many cards that simply deal with it, right? The problem is, I don't know how good Droll and Lockbird really is, because if you really think about it, Droll and Lockbird doesn't really get that much better against the core Snake Eye package, right? The core Snake Eye package doesn't really change. So if your opponent directly opens with Snake Eye Ash, the Droll and Lockbird is gonna stop potential Fiendsmith extensions, but the core Snake Eye combo that people were always being able to make under Droll is still like happening, right? If they start with the normal summon of Ash, though. However, I will say if they start with Bonfire or like Fiendsmith Engine or whatever, then the Droll and Lockbird looks a lot stronger. So it's okay. I think Droll and Lockbird is probably you. Let me phrase it this way. I think you have a better chance at stopping your opponent from making a crazy end board with a Droll and Lockbird now than with 1 or 2 of those single-use hand traps like Imperm, Veiler, Ash. Like, if you draw Imperm, Veiler, I think the chance that you're actually stopping them is lower than if you just had like a Droll and Lockbird plus a board breaker. Droll is pretty bad versus some other decks. Yeah, I guess that's a decision that you need to make, whether you want your main deck to be good against Snake Eye Fiendsmith, which I think the answer is probably yeah. It's probably worth it to main deck something for Fiendsmith Snake Eye, but you could obviously also make the decision of siding it, right? Like, you could honestly, in formats like these, it's not too uncommon to simply say, screw it. If I lose the dice roll against one of those decks, I'm like against Fiendsmith Snake Eye, I'm just gonna lose game 1. That is something that that you can do. It doesn't feel great when it happens, but sometimes it's the right thing to do. Sometimes there are certain problems in a format that if you were to try and fix them, you're making your deck way too bad in most other scenarios. Like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta accept that your deck cannot win every single game of Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like, sometimes there are certain things that are too hard to do. And I honestly think maybe going second into Fiendsmith Snake Eye game 1 is one of those things that you can't really like do. It's not gonna feel great, but that deck is just gonna win going first most of the time. But unless your deck can play stuff like Shifter and such, right? Which I think is one of the main selling points of something like Ritual Beast. We've talked about this before. Like, Ritual Beast in its core is not better than other rogue decks, but the fact that you got the Shifter in there gives you a realistic win condition when you go second against Fiendsmith Snake Eye, right? I might go for a Sprite deck with Shifter. Yeah, similar situation. That is probably realistically okay. But I don't even know. I don't even know if Mole Chummy is gonna do that much to the Fiendsmith Snake Eye, right? Because you drop Mole Chummy on them. What do they give you? Like, they give you 1 draw for the normal summon. They give you 1 draw for the Poplar, and then it's, if they have Diabellstar, it's another one. But the Fiendsmith cards, it's kind of crazy. The Fiendsmith cards just ignore that card, right? It doesn't do anything really. I mean, okay, I will say to that, I think if the card does the following thing, right? If the card gives you 1 draw always, right? 2 draws sometimes, or like relatively often because of normal summon plus Poplar, and then a 3rd draw occasionally if they are forced to go for Princess. I think in that scenario, the card is still good, right? Because a card that gives you 1 card that draws you 2 or 3 cards going second is pretty good. The only issue is that it takes up space in your deck, right? It could be a different side deck card. But I still think Mole Chummy is okay, especially if you're playing a deck that can draw meaningful cards with it, right? If you're drawing like board breakers and such, I think the card is fine. But yeah. But that is honestly the thing. The other reason why I don't want to talk about it too much is simply because this is all theory for me at the moment. I kid you not, I have not tested as much for the European Championship. Like, I've only been theorizing, and so I don't actually know. I need to put these ideas into practice before I give you guys my opinion on a lot of these cards from the Infinite Forbidden, right? And so just to make sure that the information I give you is as good as possible, basically, I need some more like time to test in the format, and I just simply haven't been that motivated to do that. But because we're running low on time until the European Championship happens, I guess we're gonna have to start soon with that. So it's gonna happen, but yeah. Do we know any cards for the TCG exclusive? We only know the name of the new archetype, which is Mimighoul, which is like a dungeon. It's based on like a dungeon crawler archetype, whatever, where you like go into a dungeon and there's different treasures and they are actually monsters. But I've said it yesterday, I am not going to put any hope into any more TCG exclusives. I'm done. I've lost my trust into cool looking TCG exclusives with Ascent. Ascent has ruined my trust forever. Anyways, let's hop into some stuff for today. We have a new set announced that is definitely not Rarity Collection 3. Do not mistaken this for Rarity Collection 3. This one is Quarter Century Bonanza, which is very, very different from Rarity Collection. It is a completely different concept. I've seen mixed responses to this. But let's just quickly, because I also haven't read it in detail yet. Let's see what this is. Okay, Quarter Century Bonanza picks up where the Rarity Collection sets left off with a bunch of new twists. Get ready for a wild ride. Time for everyone to hit the jackpot. Quarter Century Bonanza picks up... Okay, that's the same text. Here's what's new. Quarter Century Bonanza packs are 5 cards per pack like the first Rarity Collection, but we've replaced 1 super rare in every pack with a guaranteed luxury secret rare, platinum or quarter century. What is a luxury secret? Well, it's right here in the brackets. Luxury secret rares are the platinums or the quarter centuries. So 5 cards per pack, one of them is a guaranteed platinum or quarter century. Okay. That guaranteed luxury secret rare in each pack is from a special and separate 200 card nostalgia pool that is available only in this luxury secret rare slot and is independent from the standard 78 card set that's also in this pack. Quarter Century Bonanza is 2 sets in 1. Okay. I don't like this change personally for the following reason. Or basically what that means is you have You have a 78 card set that you can pull in like every rarity or whatever. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But there's like 78 cards, and then so every pack has 5 cards, right? Every pack has 5 cards. 4 of those 5 are out of the 78 card set, and then the 5th one is from a separate pool of 200 cards. And that 5th card is always a quarter century or a platinum. My problem with that is that those the way I understand it, those 200 cards are not available in the other rarities, which to me personally was one of the main selling points, or one of the coolest things about the rarity collections, was the fact that you could choose whichever rarity was your favorite and just collect the cards in that rarity. Which is what I've done. For example, my favorite rarity collection rarity was Collector's Rare. So I've gotten a lot of the staples in Collector's Rare because that was my favorite one. So I picked some staples, some hand traps up in that rarity, right? So, and what this tells me is those cards that are only available, those 200 cards that are only available in quarter century or platinum, I cannot get those in Collector's Rares. Unless, no, those 200 cannot be part of the 78 card set because it's 200. The 200 cannot be part of the 78. That's too many cards, right? So that means if there's a card within those 200 card nostalgia pool that I want for my collection, but I didn't like platinum or quarter century the most, then I can't get it in the rarity that I prefer, right? Which is, I guess, weird. In general, I don't really mind that certain cards are only available in certain rarities. I think that's whatever, kind of fine. But I wish, I guess it's a personal issue for me because I did not prefer the platinum or quarter century in rarity collection. If you preferred platinum or quarter century, then this doesn't matter for you because you can get the cards in that rarity. Okay, anyways. We're printing this 200 card nostalgia pool because quarter century secret rares are only here during the 25th anniversary, and we know that you have a lot of cards that you want to see as quarter century secret rares before that chance goes away forever. Okay, this does not personally affect me. I personally am not a huge fan of quarter century secret rares. I don't think they look that good, but I guess this is true. For some reason, they want to print what they're saying is they want to print as many cards as possible in 25th anniversary in quarter century secret rare because that rarity is going to go away soon. So they're gonna that's also probably why we're getting so many of these sets in a relatively short time span, is because they want to make use of quarter century secret rares. For me personally, this doesn't matter because I don't care for quarter centuries. I don't even know if I own one. I think I own a runic Sleipnir in quarter century. That might be the only quarter century I own. Actually, no, we pulled a Dark Armed Dragon in one of the sets and I kept it. But yeah, I don't particularly care for it. But if people do, I guess I get it. The last call for quarter century secret rares is coming. So let's kick everything into overdrive starting right now. So the funny thing about this... I pulled Typhon. That's right. I pulled a Typhon in my opening packs. It's crazy that you guys remembered that, but I didn't. But yeah, I pulled a Typhon that I kept. The thing is... what's funny to me is the fact that they're saying like, hey, quarter century secret rare is not here forever, so we're printing a bunch of cards in quarter century secret rare. The irony of this statement is the fact that that quarter century celebration has been going for way too long already. Like, how long has quarter century celebration been? Like, what was the first set for quarter century secret rares? Like, I don't even remember. I feel like it's been a long time. Duelist Nexus? Okay, when was Duelist freaking Nexus? Like, at this point, that was like in the middle of 2023, I feel like. Last July. Yeah, it's been a year. We've been celebrating 25th anniversary for over a year. At this point, it's probably been 26th anniversary already. We've just like continued this thing for over a year, which is funny. But I guess their time really is running out. At some point, it's gonna get ridiculous. Like 25th anniversary celebration can't go on forever. So okay. We've never reprinted a card that has a quarter century secret rare version in that same rarity ever, and we're not going to start. This has kept some cards which have quarter century secret rare versions out of products like rarity collections in the past. We're going to get around this by including cards in this pack that already have quarter century secret rare versions like Super Poly, Promethean Princess, and Diabellstar. We will just leave them out of the quarter century secret rare pool. Cards like these will still be available as Platinum Secrets, Prismatic Collectors, and Ultimate Rares, and Secret Ultra Supers. Okay, so basically what they're saying is we want to throw cards like this into sets like this, but we couldn't do it in Rarity Collection because in Rarity Collection, every card was in every rarity, and we didn't want to print these as quarter centuries a second time, which that makes sense, I think. That is a good change. Like, the fact that you're like saying, hey, we know some people have spent real money on like a quarter century Promethean Princess or a quarter century Diabellstars, and we are not going to reprint them as cheaper quarter centuries because they would look the exact same way, right? Like if they reprint Princess as a quarter century secret in Rarity Collection, it'd be the same looking card, just infinitely cheaper, right? Which would feel really bad, right? And people, mind you, people have already been complaining, as far as I know, about like certain reprints in Rarity Collection because they look too similar, for example, to Starlight Rares, right? Which I personally don't think is true. I think quarter centuries look miles worse than Starlights, but that's a topic for a different discussion, I guess. But at least they're saying like, hey, your quarter century secret rares are not going to get reprinted as cheaper quarter century secret rares, which I guess is a nice bit of communication for people that own Promethean Princess in quarter century and we're wondering like, hey, is this ever going to get a reprint in the same rarity? Now you know, I guess. Okay. So overall, I guess the way this can be, the way I understand this is that this is just Rarity Collection, but they've slightly changed the concept. For I guess what is now for us to decide or for us to think about is it better or is it worse? Overall, to me, this sounds fine, and it just depends 100% on what kind of cards are in here, right? Because if, like, the concept here can be fine if the card quality is good enough, right? Like, if this, I think the main thing that's gonna matter is how good is the 78 card core set, because in each pack you're getting 5 cards, 4 of them are out of the 78 card sets. If all of the good cards are part of the 200 card nostalgia pool or whatever they want to call it, and that's always the 5th card. Like, if only the 5th card is good, then I think the set is going to be bad. But if the main 78 cards are bangers, so you get 4 meta staples or 4 banger cards in every pack, and then you get 1 cool quarter century or 1 cool prismatic secret, or whatever, platinum secret, that can be really good or can be kind of whatever, like, I think that'd be a better set. Right? Like, if the 78 cards need to be nice, because those make up the majority of your pulls. In terms of the timing, my personal opinion on Rarity Collections is that they're great in general. I think every set that makes meta staples more accessible can't happen fast enough, in my opinion. I know some collectors are mad at Rarity Collections. For me personally, from a player perspective and from someone who cares about the, like, I care about as many people as possible being able to play the game. I love Rarity Collections because they make staples accessible. So I like this. I don't think this is too soon. Depending on what cards are in there, right? If there's not many cards in there that are good, then it's not going to be a great set. But in general, I think the concept of reprinting meta staples more frequently is good. But yeah, that's just me. Feel free to let me know what you think. We can discuss this for a little bit, but not for too long. I wanted to move on to some new cards, but like, what is your opinion on the concept? Like, how frequently would you guys like to see this style of product, right? Reprinting supposedly meta relevant cards like, you know, I don't think you can ever argue reprints are bad. I mean, the thing is, technically, like I said, I agree with you. I think everything that reprints cards is good because it makes the game more accessible. I will say though, at least from a not personal standpoint, just not this is not my personal quote of like feeling, but I do think that collectors are important to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they help sell product, right? It's not only the competitive player base that sells the product or buys the product, it's also collectors. And so I feel like you need to be careful with how often you reprint certain cards in certain rarities. Like, for example, the amount of quarter century secret rares that has been flooded onto the market is not something that I personally would have done. I feel like a concept like rarity collection could have still worked out without reprinting every single card in quarter century, especially the ones that were previously Starlight rares, for example. I feel like they didn't need to do that, right? Like, but yeah. I don't think we need reprint only sets that often because at some point we don't need the 30th reprint of Forbidden Chalice. And I agree with you for that. There's always like a core in these sets that is like meta staples, but nothing too crazy, right? Like cards like Twin Twisters, Forbidden Chalice, the Pots that are not Prosperity, but like a couple of those cards, kind of like all-time solid Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like nothing that's currently expensive. Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, all this kind of stuff, right? Eventually, they will have reprinted all of those or enough of those that you can't make another 100 card set with good reprints, right? But I genuinely do think the way this reads, they don't plan on making rarity collection type sets 3 times a year. Or something like that. The way this reads is we're doing this because we want to do more quarter century secret rares, but it's going to go away soon. So that's why we're cramming a bunch of releases into this time span, right? I think in the future, if I had to personally predict what's going to happen, I think in the future we're going to get like maybe one of these sets per year. With a bunch of like meta relevant reprints, right? But that's my personal prediction. I don't think it's going to continue at this pace because they're going to run out of cards to reprint at this point. But okay, so that was the quarter century Bonanza discussion. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update that this was announced yesterday and it's going to come out November 7th. So in pretty much exactly 4 months from now is when this releases. And the only reprints so far that we know, I guess, is Super Poly, Promethean Princess, and Diabell Star, which are good reprints. Like especially Diabell Star. I guess it's not that expensive anymore, but it's solid. Do we know the price? I believe I didn't. It's not on this page, but I think it was 5 cards per pack, and the packs were $5.99. So it's less cards per pack than Rarity Collection 2, but it's also slightly cheaper. I don't know exactly where it's at in terms of the comparison, but it's closer to Rarity Collection 1 in terms of the pack size and the pricing. So yeah. All right. And with that, we've quickly got some new cards to discuss, to go over. I hope this doesn't take too long because I do want to hop into some gameplay. But yeah, here we are. Okay, we've got a new ship, but it's not a plunder card. It is the Flying Mary, a Link to Water Zombie, which is a very odd combination. I cannot even think of a water zombie. Is this the first water zombie? Surely not. There's a Mayakashi that's water. Okay, okay. Theseus. Oh, is Theseus a water zombie? Anyways, I couldn't think of any. But yeah, here we are. Link 2 water zombie, 0 attack. Link's left, right, needs 2 zombie monsters. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can target a level 5 or higher zombie monster in your grave or banishment. Place this card face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. And if you do, special summon that monster. If this card is a continuous spell, you can target a level 5 or higher zombie you control. Destroy one monster your opponent controls with equal or lower attack. Ooh. This is a very cool card. I don't think it's incredibly strong or anything. But that's also because I don't know where I would put this, in which like deck or anything. The idea behind it is kind of neat. You got like if you have like a big zombie monster in the graveyard or banished, you can turn 2 like smaller zombies into this. This goes back into the spell and trap zone. The big zombie returns, and then because technically you've went -1 on that exchange, right? You've turned 2 zombie monsters into 1. It kind of makes up for that by being a removal option later on in the game, right? You can pop a monster while you control a big zombie. Card is fine, honestly. This is the kind of Link monster that I like to see. This is just feels like balanced in the right way, where I can see some deck in the future using this card if there's a use case for it, but it's not incredibly broken or anything like that. Honestly, you could argue that this is what Links should be like. Yeah, now that I've seen it, there's not that much zombie stuff going on at the moment, right? Not really. Can't really think of a meta relevant deck that makes use of this, because you guys are saying like Eldritch and stuff like that's like years ago since that's been super relevant. But yeah, cool card. Okay. From a cool card, we go to a Cybers. So this is pretty much guaranteed to be cringe, but anyways. We got Lil Magi Mage, level 2 Dark Cybers effect monster. You can only use the first effect once per turn. During the main phase, if this is in your hand, you contribute a Cybers monster or Link monster, special summon this card. That's a quick effect. Gains attack equal to the Link ratings of all Link monsters in your graveyard times 400. Okay. Yeah, this card is okay. It's a level 2 Cybers that lets you dodge Impermer Veiler on Cyberses, but that's all it does, really. Yeah, this does not seem good. I feel like this does not seem good enough, at least. Right? I feel like if a card's main purpose is to just dodge Impermer Veiler or anything like that, I don't think that's enough for it to see play. So yeah, bad Cybers card. You love to see it. Next up, Eos Varog, Forger of the Dawn, which is a level 7 Light Machine Fusion effect monster, 0 attack, 2800 defense. And it needs 2 Light Machine monsters. All right, you guys, tell me what we super poly with this. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can activate this effect during the standby phase of the next turn. Add 1 card from your graveyard to your hand with an effect that fusion summons. Okay, so you fusion summon this guy, and then it adds back probably a fusion spell during the next standby phase. When your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, quick effect, you can banish a face-up Light Machine monster you control, or 2 Light Machines from your grave, negate the activation. Okay. Not a bad card at all. Not a bad card at all. I am less mad at this secondary effect because it doesn't negate monster effects. I personally, I feel like an Omni Negate in Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is at its best when it can negate Nibiru. Every card that negates something but cannot negate Nibiru, I'm a little more inclined to accept, you know? Because it's Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, some cards are going to have Omni Negates or negates. That's just what it is. But not having the ability to negate Nibiru on this is important, I think. But I simply don't know how you summon this guy. I simply don't know if there's any way, like, because I'm not gonna poly into this, I feel like, you know, like maybe Cyber Dragon, which this is kind of looking like Cyber Dragon support. Yeah, I get it. But I don't know if that's gonna be a thing, you know. ABC with Proxy Magician. I mean, yeah. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, Proxy F Magician into this in like an ABC combo. The problem with that is, once again, you have to be playing the game already to be able to do that with ABC. And they're like, decks like ABC are usually already fine when they get to play the game. And then once again, you're not even summoning something that stops Nibiru. So I don't know. Not terrible, but not crazy. And then we got Final Bringers Below, or Bellow, not Below, Bellow. Quick play spell. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Target one monster you control and one card your opponent controls. Destroy them. Okay, simple but effective. This card is an attempt at making a card that I've been asking for forever. If you remember, even in the early days of streaming, I feel like this is like probably 2 years ago or something, I was advocating for making more generic and useful quick play spell cards that I can play in like decks that, for example, out Floodgates, right? That are not, because we are past the time where you can main deck cards like Mystical Space Typhoon or Cosmic Cyclone. In some formats you can play Cosmic Cyclone, but that's very rare these days. Most of the time you can't main deck those cards, which is one of the main reasons why Floodgates are so hard to deal with in Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Because spell and trap removal has just fallen out of favor and meta viability because most meta decks don't care about it, right? So I've been asking for cards that I can main deck that help me deal with Floodgates, which usually means they need to be quick play spells specifically, because if it was a normal spell, it wouldn't be main deckable because it would be too bad going first. If it was a trap card, it would be not main deckable because it would be too bad going second. That's specifically why we need them to be quick play spells. And now here's the unfortunate thing. I'm not sure if this card is good enough. This card is like a generic Fire King Skyburn, which is, maybe it's okay, but it feels like the kind of card that it seems a little underpowered. For some reason, they are kind of careful when making a generic out to Floodgates like this. I don't hate it. I don't think it's unplayable. I don't think it's unplayable. I think you side deck it. I think this card is not gonna see side deck play. No. This card, the specific quality of this card is if you were to main deck it. If I'm side decking this, I can almost always side deck a better card for any matchup. Like if you're playing against a stun deck, you would always rather play Cosmic Cyclone or Twin Twisters or something along those lines. If you're playing against a combo deck, you would always rather play something else. Like if you're going first, you'd always rather have a Floodgate. If you're going second, you'd rather have a real board breaker. This card is not good in the side deck. This card is a main deck card, and that is its strength. That is why it's cool. We need cards like this that don't just go into the side deck to be like huge blowout cards. We need solid main deck like options that help you deal with floodgates, but are also good in other scenarios. That's what I like about this card. I wish the card was a little bit better. I wish the card would be just a little bit better. I don't know exactly what I would do with it to make it just a little bit better, but I wanted a card like this for a long time, so I'm still happy with it. I just hope that it's good enough to see play. Pop 2 would be too strong, I think. Maybe something like a Gemini Spark, but like more generic, like tribute one of your monsters, destroy a card and draw a card. Maybe that would also be too strong. I'm not sure. Maybe give it a somewhat solid graveyard effect, right? Like maybe the option to add it back to your hand instead of doing like maybe yes, I don't know. Non-target? I don't know. Look. We can theorize about it. We can theorize about it for as long as we want. This is what it is. It's not going to change. We're going to get this card. I hope it's good enough because this card to me screams interactivity. This is not a huge blowout card. This is not going to win games on its own. But I would like to play in a format where this card is good enough to see play, right? Like if this card sees play, I'm going to be happy. Because I think this is a very healthy Yu-Gi-Oh card. This is the kind of level that I want Yu-Gi-Oh cards to be at when I play them in my deck, especially like non-engine. The kind of idea. Yeah. I like it. I like it. It's probably my favorite card of the bunch for sure. I'm a little afraid that it's not gonna do anything because it's not good enough, but I really like the design on this card. Isn't Econ just better? Have you ever tried destroying Rivalry of the Warlords with enemy controller? How did that go for you? All right. Good talk. Good talk. All right. Just turn Rivalry to defense position. Okay, you got me there. Fair enough. Salu FC, thank you for the first time subscription. I appreciate that. Always very happy to see someone subscribe for the first time. Thank you for the support. I am glad you like the content enough to support it. All right. We shall hop into Master Duel. We have little less than 3 hours until we start recording the podcast with Mr. Farfa. So let us hop right in. I have already played a game before stream with Fire Kings. I realized I haven't played Fire King in a long time. At least the pure Fire King. This is the one without Snake Eye cards because they're cringe. So let's see if we can make this work and get at least to Master 5 with it. And then we'll see what we climb within Master. Have you seen the Paleo lore video? You won't believe how often that video has been sent to me. No, I haven't watched it yet, but I also haven't found a day where I wanted to spend the time on it. Okay, we have no hand traps, but Kirin, Garunix, Volcanics together is actually not bad. I'm guessing from the fact that they searched this with Per Lily that they don't have a second copy. That's why I'm popping it. Oh, I miss. Ah, okay. Well, I still get to pop the Pearly. Or the Pearl Lily. Depending on what if they summon or not. Okay, they discard the trap. We'll summon this. Destroy this so they don't get the reveal. And then we can activate this as well. I'll pop this. And search Onyx. Sure. It's funny how much we're doing right now, isn't it? Isn't it hilarious? I haven't had a turn yet. I've summoned like 6 monsters. I should have. Yeah, I don't know if the volcanics. I guess I don't care if they anima the volcanics. It's fine. I was gonna have 4 monsters. I can get Nibiru right now. I just want you to know that. So they can still play. I can't really do much here anymore. But the thing is, like, how are they gonna, like, what are they gonna do is the question. Because they might not play 2 of this. I've seen some lists that play two leaps, but mostly it's, usually I would think it's 1. Which makes me wonder why they even discarded it. I guess no matter what they attach, what they get here, it's gonna be pretty good for them. Like, Pretty Memory is pretty strong as well to like take my stuff. The advantage of my list is that I play 2 Garunics because this is pure Fire King. So no matter what they take here, I do have more copies. They play 3 traps. You want me to check the deck after? And if it's 3 traps, you get VIP. If it's not 3 traps, you get banned. There are lists with 3 traps. I didn't say there were no lists with 3 traps. I just like the fact I dislike the fact that they stated it as a there's always 3 traps in these decks, which is not true. Oh, that's insane. Okay. Well, we get Noir, but the Noir... Right. Their hand was all quick play spells, and they hit the field spell with the thing. That's not good. What is it? 6 material noir? But I can't out it unless they attach... How do I out 6 material noir if they just never use it? Oh, 7 material, yeah. Well, 8 after the attach with this. Joshy106, thank you for the 12 months. Appreciate you. Oh. Okay. I feel like that's good for me. That I don't agree with. Okay, so they got no other cards. This feels fine because we can force them to use it because we got Garunix that's just going to be bigger than... special summon this? I don't need to. All right. Need to force it twice? Yeah, but like we got time because they got no cards, right? Like it's not that big of a deal, is it? How big is the Exceed? The Exceed is 3k, right? So the Exceed also forces it. Just go Runix? Feel like I can just make this battle phase. They use it twice. They really should have attached the delicious memory in the end phase. I feel like. To just make this big. Because they were all in anyways. Okay. Whew. I can show you my list. So this morning I played a game where I had 1 Arvata, 1 Barong in the deck. And I once again opened Island without a fire monster. So I wanted to play more fire monsters, so I added 2nd Barong and 2nd Arvada. I think I took out Circle of the Fire Kings and I took out the 3rd copy of Talons. So this is what I currently have. I don't think this is better than Snake Eye Fire King. I just think it's more fun. 2 Barong is criminal. I actually really like Barong in like grindy situations. I really like the ability to search a Kirin in my opponent's standby phase. It's like one of my favorite cards to pop with Island, because even if I get hand trapped or max seed or whatever, I really like the ability to search. Rank Bally could be okay. Oh yeah, I need to check how many Oh, VIP. Where are they? Oh god, I that went wrong. Okay, now I have to find them. Oh my god, when was that? Shit. Okay, can some? I don't know who it was. You're all gonna say it was you. I know. I can't VIP all of you. I know it was not all of you. It was definitely not circular is a fair card. That was not the username. Yeah, okay. Oh my god. Okay. It was me. It was me. It was me. Yeah, okay. I'll check later. Surely. Mods, check who said they're on 3 eeps. uh We ash the rhino and hope they break. Okay. Okay. The zombie vampire will simply miss. Uh-oh. Nah, not the Mudora, dude. And the snow? Oh my. Asirgi Remiga. Okay. VIP. There you go. You're a VIP now for yapping about 3 early yeeps. Congratulations. Okay, I'm kind of scared of that Visa Starfrost. I don't know why we made IP Masquerena. I guess in case we milled a tier name, we wanted to fuse with the Rhino Horde. That kind of makes sense. Hey, I mean, maybe if we're not getting, if they're not getting the Kit Kalos, maybe it's fine. They didn't even revive Visa Starfrost. I guess they can make Astraloud. They can make Astraloud with the Rhino Heart plus Visas, right? Oh, linking off the... Oh, what is happening? So... Sprint? Oh, right. Sprint is a card. Wait, but Merly is banned. Dude, you convinced me for a second that Sprint was gonna happen. And then I thought to myself, like, why has it been so long since I've seen Sprint into Merly and Master Duel? And then I realized, wait a minute. Fossilworth, thank you for the 21 months. That's a very long time. Appreciate the support. There's Elf. What are we doing here? Okay, good. Good talk. Please don't maxi me. I'm gonna cry. Okay. Probably go Kirin. Because it doesn't target, right? I go Kirin, it doesn't target. That maybe makes them go Mudora. Oh. So whatever they make here can't be destroyed. That could be a problem if they make a big Appaloosa. But my only way to stop this is to chain Skyburn. And I don't really want to Skyburn my Garunix away. He's big. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Thing is, if I pop... So I can't pop the Horus monsters. I can't pop the SP. The only thing I can pop is the Vicious Astrolaut, but that triggers both of those. So I'm not... I will activate this. I think I literally lose to the one Mudora that they drew. Everything else is very... It feels very irrelevant. I lose to the one Mudora in their grave because it's gonna ruin my graveyard setup. I have really strong graveyard setup right now, but it doesn't do anything. I was hoping they would do that, because that's way worse, I think, than chaining Snow on banishing the elf. Because now the Modora can only target 2 of my cards, which is actually, like, I still have Barong, Garunix, and Ponix that all trigger in the grave. So shuffling not all of my stuff away is actually solid for me. They should have gone Snow, banish their own elf. And then they can Mudora 3 of my cards. Yeah. Sark sent Hida and then attack with 2 horses game. I mean, I get the Kirin now because I have Barong. Or, yeah, I gotta get Kirin. Because I pop Barong and Barong is the GOAT. I wrote that before we knew he doesn't shuffle Barong. Okay. Okay, it's another Rhino Heart, which is not great. Let's see. Okay, they hit Sharon, that's kind of fucked. If they, do they, can they use it? No, they don't use it. Okay. So, I need to get rid of King Sark, right? They already threw by not starting with bringing back horse monsters. I need to capitalize on that, I feel like. If I pop Hita, I can summon Ponix from hand. I can Skyburn for 2. And then Kirin. I think it's Skyburn for 1 though. And then Volcanics as well. Okay, hold up. I will pop Hita. Summon Kirin. Onyx. They're gonna mill 8. I just have to hope that it's not insane. Which is probably words before a disaster, but... I think I need to do it this way. I still have the rank 8 play. I think this is the best I can do. Destrudo. Salic Scream. Destrudo, Salic Scream. Okay. I guess. Could have been worse, but it's not great. Meta Noise Sharon, 1 card in hand. Probably a monster, obviously.